couple of things. Oh, I think we're recording. Okay, we're recording. You're muted. I think I clicked all the buttons. Okay. All right. So again, noticing how the normal breathing is so that we can then become more aware. The last thing was the volume. I always forget to do something. Be aware of when we do start to breathe a little differently. You know, the purpose of that is that we want to be more mindful and have our breathing help us a little bit more with our yoga practice. So, you know, sometimes when we start moving around, it's really hard to keep focused on everything at once. But if you can establish your breath pattern early, and then, you know, as you are, moving through your practice, you know, you might get to a point where we're going to be somewhere for a while, and you think, oh, now I can find that breath again, and just see if it helps calm you or helps make you feel like you're able to maintain the poses that you're working on a little bit better. And again, but don't feel like that you're not doing it right if you're unable to constantly focus on the breath, right? So the breath is in through the nose, out through the nose. We want to make sure that the breath is gradually expanding into the body a little bit more, right? So as the breath comes in, the body has to expand outward to accommodate that. And we want to get to where the belly breath is happening and feeling pretty natural. All right? So taking that slow breath in through the nose and also exhaling through the nose. And right now you're probably settling in. Maybe you're noticing little bits that might be, still feeling a little tight, or just in general, maybe if you got up and you haven't done a whole lot yet, you just know that you're not really that, feeling that, at least I'm not feeling that flexible yet. Haven't moved around a whole lot. So, wiggle around, make sure that you kind of settle in and everything feels comfortable. Again, you can start with the legs completely relaxed. If you want to have the knees bent, that's fine, but we're not too focused on the alignment at the moment. So again, that big breath in and gradually allowing it to come so you can feel that belly, and place your hand there if you're a little uncertain about that. You do want to feel the hand rise up. You do want to feel the hand and the belly go back down as you exhale. You don't have to tighten it really a lot here. You don't have to contract the wall inward. But again, just feeling the chest rise up, feeling that expansion. And those lungs go all the way to your back too. So don't just feel it right here in the front of the body. Take that breath all the way in so you feel the whole upper body expanding outward. Try to exhale the same length. So maybe count as you inhale, whatever count pattern you like to use. Try to match it as you exhale, and do it for a breath or two. Don't just do it once, right? But we want to make sure that it starts to feel more natural. We don't want to overthink it. So when you have established that breath, we're going to go ahead and get the knees bent pretty quickly today. We're going to do a little bit of warm up here for the hips and the back in just a moment. But for right now, just bring the arms alongside you. Make sure the arms feel long, the neck feels long. We have this little curve in our lower back. Most of you can probably slide a hand under there. We're just going to leave that. And we're not trying to push down. That's activating too much. We just want to have a natural curve there, still feeling that expansion inward. Feel like you've also pulled your shoulders apart from each other, so you've widened through the shoulders and across the front of the chest here. And lastly, those heels are lining up with the center of the glutes. So if you kind of push up in there, you feel that little round hard bone, those are sitting bones. And again, so just staying focused here. Make sure your knees are comfortable. If your heels are too close in and you feel that too much tightness here, you can walk the heels out a little bit. Just make sure they're lined up with each other and with the glutes. A couple more breaths here, and then we'll just add a little bit of upper body movement to start. All right, on that next inhale, take the arms overhead. See how far they go as you take that breath in, and then on the exhale, we're going to bring the arms back down to the mat. See where my blocks are. And again, inhale, reach up and overhead. If you do have blocks up here like I do, make sure that they're not in your way. Exhale, arms come back down. And again, reach up. Bring them down, exhale. Now, hopefully you're starting to feel this, we're moving the arm, but we're not just thinking about the arm. We want to feel this stretching happening all the way to our fingertips, through the arm, through the side body. And then as that side body gets involved, we feel it into the upper back, into the lats. You might also be feeling some of this in the chest. And again, a couple more. All right. So let's continue the arms over the head. We're going to just add some lower body now. So arms up, inhale. Exhale, just pull the right knee in just for that breath out. As soon as you need to inhale, foot goes down, arms go up. Exhale, left knee in. So again, we're just adding that knee to chest, and this is just the most minimal thing we can do right now, right? Just adding a little knee pull, starting to warm up or wake up those hamstrings. I'm not letting anything come off the mat. Now, if you feel like you have to bring your head up to get your knee in, I want you to keep that head down, and maybe you can't pull the knee in too far. That's okay. Again, you want to listen to your body every time, every time. If you get to that point where you're just like, well, I know that I should be able to do more at this point, and you yank it or force it into something it's not ready for, and it could just be that your body's not built that way. It could just be that you're not very warm, or you've done something that's tightened everything up. Or, just don't do that. Expect to get something out of each practice, but you don't always expect to be improving every single time. That's not realistic. Sometimes it can take years for us to progress in certain movements, certain poses maybe. Different arm length and leg length and torso length, and just so many factors play into how your body's able to move. So don't make it unhappy, because it'll make you unhappy. All right, so we're gonna do right and left one more time. Again, and you're just working at your own pace. You don't have to keep pace with me on any of this. You need to stop, if you're watching this later when it's recorded, or even if you're live and you need to stop or modify or take a break, that's the beauty of what we're doing here, that you're not in a class where it's disruptive. You can do what you need to do at home. Okay, that was two more, but anyway, go to the right leg this time and pull the knee in. Just keep that knee in right now. Now, I like to take my hands down to the shin bone. You can take them behind, wherever. We just want to try to not pull right on that knee joint. So as you pull the leg in, you do feel your lower back pressing down, but you haven't activated that, right? Like you haven't actively pushed it down. All right, let's take that foot a little higher up. You don't have to straighten the knee yet, but we're going to flex the toes toward you or toward the floor. And then press the ball of the foot up first, and then allow those toes to point. And notice if your foot tends to cramp a little bit, then you want to keep that pointing part more relaxed. It doesn't have to be a forceful point. All right, so we're going to work on that a little bit. And, hopefully, again, you're noticing that maybe you feel tight and stiff, and the more you do it, the more things warm up. And then we're just going to start to circle the foot around, circle that, warming up that ankle. Both ways. I don't know, maybe feel like a little crackling and popping happening. I don't usually find that on my ankles, but I definitely have other body parts that when they're first moving in the morning, they crackle a little bit. And again, that's not anything to be alarmed at for the most part. If it's something new that happens, yes, maybe get it checked out. But as we're older, things just tighten up. All right, now, You've worked the foot every angle, hopefully. You've, done the circling. I want you to do one more thing that we don't normally do. So press your foot up, and it should look like it's, if you were on a floor, it would be flat, right? But what I want you to do now is push the outside edge of your foot a little higher up. It might be hard to see on the video. And then bring it back to where it seems flat. And then push the inside edge. So these are little areas of the foot that we don't really think about, but they also need to be able to move independently. So push the outside edge of your foot higher toward the ceiling. Don't worry about doing anything with the toes. Keep them relaxed. Bring it back to flat and then push the inside edge. You might be feeling things that you haven't felt before. And back to the middle one last time. Outside edge, really push it up. You might feel this coming all the way up the outside of that lower leg now. Back to the middle, and then same thing. Inside of the foot, might be feeling it inside of the leg. And then just relax the foot. Pull the knee in. Let's move it around and warm up that hip a little bit. Just knee circles, which then allow the upper part of our right leg to kind of move around in that hip joint. You can move it freely on its own. If it helps you to use your hands, do that. Make sure you go both directions here. All right, and then when you come back in, I just want you to kind of take it in and out, a little rotation inward to the center of the body and out a couple times. All right, and then we're gonna bring that foot back down, lift the hips up, starting all over again. Arms right here, and then when you're ready, inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, now bring your left knee in. Same thing, we're gonna hold anywhere on the leg, just not the knee joint. Give it a little time. So still, here we go, focusing on that breath. We take that inhale, it kind of prepares our body if we're not moving, but then on the exhale, maybe we're able to go into that stretch a little bit more. All right, we're gonna take the foot up. Same thing, we're gonna start out by flexing as much as we can. Pressing the ball of the foot up and then pointing the toes. And flex again. Ball of the foot again, noticing if you're able, if the pointing toe is good, if it's too causing the cramping, leave it, and then moving the foot a little faster if you're ready. And then circling the ankle. Again, we want to get a lot of these circles done. Don't do 2 or 3 one way and then the other. You got to do 8 to 10. Maybe you do more. You don't have to move quick. Go both ways. All right, and then we're going to work on that foot edge thing. I can't remember what order I did it in on the other side, but we're going to, so keep the foot somewhat parallel to the ceiling, if that makes sense. Now push the inside edge higher up, and then back to neutral, and then push the outside edge a little higher up. Ooh, feeling that. And back to center and inside edge. You might not feel like you're getting a big range of motion here if you're real tight through the ankles and the inside of the lower leg. Press the outside edge. And neutral one more time, inside edge up. And middle and outside edge up. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Now let the knee bend, and now we move on to the hip. So same thing, we're gonna start moving that knee up and around. Same thing, go both directions. All right. Now, so we've warmed up the feet and ankles, the hips a little bit. We're going to continue with some hip, and now this is going to start going into the back. Sometimes when we think of our back, we just think of the back, what we look at. If we look in, you know, a mirror or something with you just see, you know, the top of the back, the spine. But, you know, we have all of these areas that wrap around from back to hip, into shoulders, into chest, all connected, right? So we're going to work on that now with some easy twisting. So just move your arms out a little bit. And I do want you to keep your feet apart in that parallel position, all right? So you just want to kind of take the arms out, keep the shoulders relaxed. Feet are going to stay apart, knees are going to stay apart, but we're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, just drop the knees right. So you can see my knees are not together at all. And then inhale, right away, bring them up. Exhale, drop them left. So we do this a few times. So we're not going to get into our maximum, bring them back up, inhale. We're not going to get into anything like a maximum stretch right now. So inhale first. Exhale, drop the knees right. You might not even get that right knee down to the floor. Inhale up. Exhale, drop them left. And inhale back up. So notice that when you're dropping the knees, you're going to the edges of the feet here, right? That outside edge. When we go to the right, it would be the right foot, the inside edge of the left. So 2 more times each side. Inhale. Exhale, drop your knees to the right. Inhale, knees up. Drop your knees left. Exhale. And inhale up. And 1 more time, right. And inhale up. And exhale left. All right, now this time we're staying longer. So take that deep breath in. Exhale, drop those knees to the right. And now we're going to stay there. So see if you can get that right leg to the floor. Where does that left knee fall? Mine is kind of almost, I guess it's kind of above my right foot. But I do feel a really nice stretch coming up inside that left leg, on the outside of my right leg. Now my arms are open. I'm going to look to the left if I can. And now you're adding, you know, getting a nice stretch of the neck. Shoulders are staying down here. Just hold it a little bit longer. All right, we're going to bring the knees up. Deep breath. Exhale, drop them to the left. And now we're going to stay here just a little bit longer. So same thing, if that left knee can go all the way down. Right knee maybe kind of hovering. And then turning and looking to the right if you can. Last one here. And inhale, bring the knees back up. Let's take the knees into the chest, roll the back a little bit. And just for comparison, and then we'll compare again at the end of the practice, is now we're going to do a twist right and left, only 1 time each, but we're going to keep the legs together, feet and knees together. Now this one, you can either start with feet on the mat or off the mat, either one, but try to keep the knees together so that as you drop to the side, now the hips are going to be stacked on top of each other. So here we go, taking that breath in. Exhale, roll all the way to the right. See if you can keep the knees together. I'm feeling this a lot more now in the left upper back. Again, you can always look opposite. And inhale, bring those knees up. Exhale, drop them all the way to the left. Make sure you've got room on both sides of your mat, wherever you've set up today. And inhale, bring the knees back up. Now, we're going to stretch the legs out first. Take the arms overhead. Full body stretch as we inhale. So from fingertips all the way to the toes, every lengthening muscle involved. Exhale, let it all relax. Stay here. And inhale again, stretch as long as possible. Exhale and relax. And we'll do one more inhale. Exhale, relax. And now we are going to bring those knees in for a little roll of the back. And you can make your way up onto hands and knees by rocking up. Or you can roll over to your side. I'm going to roll over today. Use my hands to push myself up. And then come onto hands and knees. So Make sure that if your knees are not comfortable here, that you get a blanket or a folded towel and put it under the knees for a little bit more cushioning. Like I said, I've been using 2 yoga mats here, which really helps quite a bit. And it doesn't feel kind of like there's anything slippery underneath. So here we go. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Get those arms long, and then just unlock the elbows. If you have that tendency to lock them up tight, I want you to unlock them. What's that? Okay. Okay, take a deep breath in. Feel that expansion to your belly. Exhale, arching up right away into cat pose. And now we're going to draw that belly in. Let the head hang down. Now inhale, go into cow pose. Lift the chest a little bit. Lift the tailbone. See how that feels. Exhaling, arch into cat pose again. Inhale, lengthening and lifting. So we're going to work through those 2 now. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arch. And again, this is up to you, working at your own pace. Sorry about that. I gotta pull the old hair out of the face. All right, so cat and cow. I've done this a few times now. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back to that flat back. Exhale, child's pose. Just scoot those hips back. Knees can open more if you like. Arms, lots of options here to be comfortable. Feel free to come to your resting pose anytime that you need to. Doesn't matter what we're doing, you can always come back to it. All right, so I'm going to work on getting the back a little bit more, a little bit longer, a little bit more stretched. So come to your hands and knees. Now, on this one, we don't want to let our hips move back. We want to keep the hips right over the knees, but now we're going to walk the hands forward, coming into puppy pose, right? So we want to slowly allow the upper body to be melting down toward the mat, maybe getting your forehead on the mat, maybe using a rolled up towel or block if you can't get it down to the mat. The other option here, if this is too intense on your shoulders, you're going to do one arm for a while, other one resting closer to the head. And with the one arm out, you can really push, kind of think about pushing your armpit toward the floor. And then you can switch over to the other side. If you've got both of them out, same thing. We're trying to press the hands in the mat, press the armpits down toward the mat. You can even bring your chin onto the mat. That really intensifies it. Now to come out of this, if you've got both hands out, you want to inch by inch, scoot them back in, and then once you're in far enough, bring your hips all the way back, and just rest in that child's pose again. Now, arms are forward. I want you to take both hands to the right edge of your mat, so right hand just moves over, left hand's going to go even beyond it, and then again, pull those hips back, keep the left hand as far up as you can, to get that left side stretch. Back to the middle, other side. So left hand just moves over the edge, right hand goes beyond it, and then I try to bring the hips back again, and keeping the hand as far away as I can. And then come back to the middle, bring the arms in. All right, so we're going to come to our first downward dog, and I want you to get there by coming to hands and knees first. So we're not going to take our arms as far out as we normally would. Let's see what our time was. Okay. All right, so here we are. We are hands and knees all you're gonna do, toes under, hips up, and stretch back. So this might be a little shorter dog than you normally do, but you might be able to get the heels a little further toward the mat. We're gonna shift our weight around. This is very much up to what you want to do here. But I do want you to turn and twist and press and move a little bit. All right. Let's make our way into our plank. Now, from where you were, when you bring your your shoulders forward, you might find that now your plank isn't where it should be. Your hands are too far back. So you might need to scoot them a little more forward to get that perfectly aligned plank. Hands under the shoulders. Lift out of the mat. Take a breath in. Lift your heart. Exhale, lower. Now I'm going to drop my knees and modify that so I can really control how far down I go and how slowly I go. Forehead down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. And we're going to make our way back all the way here. Big exhale. Come to downward dog again. So if you want to come from here, you might find it's going to be a longer distance now. That's fine. If you want to go back to the hands and knees approach, do that. Just remember that when you get into your plank, you need to make sure you align it so the hands stay under the shoulders. Now inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. Now just stay here. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Keep the hands right here. Pull the belly in. Inhale, think of moving forward, your forehead sliding forward before it lifts up. Don't just lift that head up. Go forward and up. Inhale. Now, pull the shoulders, shoulder blades together. Tighten the belly. If you can float those hands up just a little bit off the mat, inhale. Exhale, lower. Staying here a little longer. Those elbows are right next to your back like they're wings, like they're drawn in. All right, tighten the belly. Inhale, forward and up. Lift your heart, shoulders back and down. Float those hands up. Exhale, lower. We're going to do that one more time. So make sure that elbows are close to the body. Tighten up the belly. Inhale, move forward and up. Come up into cobra. And then see if the hands can come up and we can maintain that little back bend here. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower. And push back to child's pose. All right, we're going to make our way to the front of our mat. So come to downward dog. Stretch it out a little bit. And then you're going to walk your feet forward. However many little steps you need, come into that forward bend. We're just going to hang here for a moment and relax. As soon as you get gravity involved, you really start to feel a nice stretch up into the whole glute area. Okay, let the knees bend a little bit. Tighten your belly and very slowly roll it up, inch by inch. Now as you come up, stand tall, bring the shoulders to the ears, rolling back and down. Do that a couple times. Circle your hands on the wrist a few times, one way and the other. You can even make a fist, stretch them out. Kind of like the same idea when we do all those movements with the feet and ankles, same thing with the hands. And you can throw those into your daily routine. It's actually a good thing. You've been sitting down for a while, inactive, hand and feet circles a couple times a day is going to really be very helpful. So we're in our mountain pose. I want to feel like I'm almost being pulled off my heels, right? I want to feel that energy moving up, opening the chest. Feeling that breath still coming in and out. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward bend. We'll just bring our hand to the heart and make our way into that forward bend. Use your blocks if you like, use the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Again, inhale. You can use that external blocks, use the shins. Make sure that whatever you're resting the hands on, that you're not keeping the back rounded over. We really want to broaden across the front of our chest like some elastic pulled and stretched across. And that tightens up the upper back also. So we're in our halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, back to your forward bend. Next inhale. Now you can roll up every time, or you can extend and come up. And bring those hands through the heart. And again, it's all up to you. Rolling down and up is going to always make, be a little bit less strenuous on the lower back. Okay. Ooh, nice and warm today. Let's try it again. All right, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward bend, round it over. Inhale, lift halfway. Now, once you have this back in place, you're nice and straight here. See if you can take one arm up. Maybe you can take the other arm up. Maybe you can take both and maintain that strong, straight back. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale. Make your way all the way back up. Little back bend if you like. Exhale, back to mountain pose. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, dive over. Excuse me. Inhale, lift halfway. Again, really straighten it up here. Tighten it up. Reach those arms back. Keep the neck long. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale all the way back up to mountain pose. All right, now today we're going to approach our warrior poses a little differently. Not anything that we've never done, and I hope we didn't do it too recently. Can't remember what we did last week. But what I want you to do is I want you to come to the middle of your mat, and I want you to start moving the feet apart in a wide straddle. I'm going to recommend you bring your blocks with you. Okay? Now, try to look down the center of the body and just notice if your feet seem to be about the same distance from the center of the body. Because obviously they're apart, but we don't want to have like 1 foot in more. I don't know if you can see that kind of. We want to have our hips feeling even. Now, flat feet, it might feel like your feet are flatter because they're wider apart. So really make sure that those arches stay engaged. Shoulders up and back, arms at shoulder height. All right. So I want you to turn your right foot to the front of your mat, wherever that is. Your left foot, I want you to push your left heel just slightly back. So we went from feet facing the side, right foot to the end, left heel back, and now bend that right knee, and you've made your warrior two. Looking over that right hand. All right, side angle pose. Leaning into that right leg, or maybe bringing a block over here to rest that right hand on. Left arm reaching straight up out of that left shoulder. We can also turn the palm from facing out to forward and angle that arm. Side angle pose, extended variation. One more option. I can take this left hand and reach around behind me. Try to get my hand to my right hip crease. And this is a good one to really work on for opening, rotating that left shoulder back. All right, let's extend that left arm up if it's not. Come back up to warrior two. So notice I don't change that right knee and keep it bent. And now reverse warrior, float that arm up. And back to warrior two. And go ahead and straighten those legs, coming back to our wide straddle. I want you to interlace your hands over the head. Stretch those arms up. Press your shoulders down. Palms up if you like. Now, very gently to move those shoulders, those arms back a little bit. Don't arch the back to get there. Start to move the arms. So you're just kind of seeing it go a little further alongside my ears, maybe a little bit behind. And release those hands back to shoulder height. Turn your left foot straight ahead. Bump that right heel back just a tiny bit. Bend the left knee. But now we've come into our warrior two on our left, looking over that left hand. Settle in, see how that feels. All right, side angle pose. I can lean into this left leg. I can use a block. I'm going to start by just taking my right arm straight up. So if you're feeling that body closing out here, I'm going to recommend that the support arm come higher up and your focus be keeping your chest open to the side of the mat. Next option, extended variation. Up and over that right ear. Never on the head though. Give yourself a little space. And then we can also take this hand, reach it behind us. Now getting into that left hip crease, right? And really working to open that torso. Stay open to the side of the mat. All right, extending that right arm back up if it's not there already. Make your way to warrior two. And reverse warrior, left arm up, right hand now on the back leg. All right, back to warrior two, back to that wide straddle again. I don't block anything here. Okay, interlace your hands the opposite way. So this would be the one you would not automatically go to. Go to that one, go to the one that feels a little weird. Stretch it up, same thing, any variation, but very important to bring our shoulders back down. Easy, easy pull back alongside the ears, but just don't arch your back to get there, to see what those shoulders can do. All right, releasing those hands. Now, I want you to take your hands to the front of your hip creases. I want you to inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, forward bend, only to that halfway point. So we're going to take our hands to our blocks here. If you're super flexible or got long arms, you might get your hands all the way to the floor. Now inhale, make sure that back stays nice and straight. Okay. I want you to bring your left hand or left block a little more under the heart. Right hand to that right hip crease again. Inhale, keep the spine long. Exhale, turning your chest to the right. And that's wherever you're oriented, to whatever your right wall is here. Option to open that right arm, as long as your shoulder's not all bunched up here. If you can open it and have that shoulder nice and relaxed. You can also keep your hand on the hip. Just work on the torso here. And then come back to the middle. We're going to forward bend in between. So maybe grab the elbows or around the ankles. If you feel that you need to be upright before you do the other side, please come up, take a breath, and then meet us down there again. So when we go back into, we're in this forward bend and nice and relaxed here. Bring the hands under the shoulders, whether it's on the floor or the blocks. Get that upper body nice and flat again. Right hand comes under the heart. Left hand to the hip crease. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, then add that rotation. And then as we come out of that forward bend again, grab the other elbow, the other direction. If you like to grab the elbow, do the other way. Same thing, hands can be anywhere. But we're gonna come up a little bit differently, so stay in that forward bend and just listen to what I'm gonna have you do. Bring your hands to the floor or your blocks, pretty much kind of under the head. Very slowly, I want you to bring both heels into the center and then both toes. We're going to heel toe our feet closer together. All right, until they're just a little wider than parallel. And then bend the knees, bring your hands to the tops of your thighs and roll it up slowly. All right, I showed you that variation because sometimes we're in our forward bend, in that straddle forward bend, and we come back up, and it can be a lot of effort, and especially if you had anything happening in the lower back. So that's a really nice way to bring yourself back up without extra strain on the back. So we've gone from, we did our warrior two. We're gonna do the same thing with our triangle pose today without going into that forward bend again. So what I want you to do now is turn your right foot forward and your left foot pushing that heel back, and a little bit not so wide like we did in our warrior two. I want your legs to make your little triangle right here, and then take your arms at shoulder height. So I still have the front heel lined up with the back arch, but my legs are not as far apart. All I'm going to do now is reach forward with my right hand and push back with my left hip at the same time, and I'm going to bring my hand down to either rest on my right leg or again use my block, but really trying to open that triangle up so my triangle legs stay in place, and my goal is to just turn that upper body, keep it open to the side. So there's our triangle pose. And inhale, come back up. Turn the right palm up again. Keep the legs straight. Reverse triangle. Now, as I bring the arm up, I can continue to look here, or I can look over kind of behind my heel. So either one. All right, we're going to turn back to our little bit smaller straddle, and right away go to the other side. So left foot pointing to the other end of the mat. Make sure your foot isn't too, your toes aren't pointing backward. This right heel pushes back a little bit, arms at shoulder height. Again, make sure that triangle isn't gigantic. It's going to be really hard to get lower in that if it is. Okay, so here we go. Reach forward left and push your right hip away. Bring that left hand down, right arm up. The idea here with, that we have to have our left hand somewhere, but we're not relying on that to keep us there. If I let go here, and I collapse, I'm not using this whole area, the whole center that can work to keep me here. So tighten up through the middle, rotate that body, rest your hand either on the leg or block. Really try to line your shoulders up. All right, inhale back up. Take the arms shoulder height, left palm up, arm up, right hand back. Keeping the legs straight, reverse triangle, looking up or looking over, turning and looking over my right shoulder. And bring the arm back to shoulder height, turn those legs heel toe together a little closer. Take those arms up. Exhale back to mountain pose. We're moving back to the front of our mat now, so bring your blocks with you. How is it that we always run out of time? Let's do a balance pose before we make our way back down. Let's just do tree pose today, probably the one that we do most often. Go ahead and go to the wall or doorway if you want something like that. If you need to grab a strap, anything like that. I'm going to set it up here facing you, but you can see at the top of your mat. Start balanced on both feet. You can bring either foot up first. I want you to choose your favorite balancing leg first. Turning the knee out, placing the foot inside. You know, you can go all the way up into that inner thigh if you like. Find a focal point, very important. Continue to feel, whoops, like you're being pulled upward. So we're not going down or over, we're staying lifted here. Really pressing that knee out. Again, and then those arms can go wherever you like. Stay however long you like. You're having an awesome balancing day. Enjoy it. Before you do the other side though, you do want to come back to mountain pose. You want to make sure that we just kind of even things out again. When you're ready, go ahead and go to the other side. Same thing, we're going to turn the knee out. That's the bigger goal than bringing the foot up so high, right? Keep the knee facing out. Hands to your heart. Same thing, find a focal point. One side might be better. For some reason, I feel like my right side's normally good. Not feeling great today. That's okay. All right. If you finish balancing, we're getting ready to move back down. If you're still balancing, great. Join us when you're ready. All right. Roll the shoulders up and back. Before we move down, let's bring our chin down to the chest. We'll do a little half circle here. Just notice how the back of the neck is feeling. Do that a couple times. So if you're trying to inhale as the chin comes up, exhale as the chin goes down. All right, and we go back to the center. Take the arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Extend those arms if you like. Exhale, forward bend. Hands to the mat. Slowly step back to your plank. Inhaling when you get to plank. Exhale, lower slowly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Bring the arms in, take a little rest. All right, flip your hands and knees, and we're actually going to immediately come to a lunge. So we're going to bring your right foot forward and keep that left knee back. I'm putting the blocks kind of outside my hips. You're probably going to want to keep them nearby. Now, our goal is to start moving our hip, our whole pelvis forward, and kind of moving the whole body a little bit beyond that back knee. So trying to get that body nice and upright, adding the arms as an option. You can also stay right here or keep your hands on your blocks. But really think of doing a little bit of a lift in the chest and pushing forward till we get a good stretch in front of that left hip. Now, keep your left hand up, bring your right hand over to your right block, which again is kind of outside the right hip. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, stretching the left hand up and over to the right. Don't let the whole body shift, just the arm, really now increasing that left side stretch. And inhale, back up. Take your hand down to the block on the left. I want you to now shift your weight back over that left knee. Use the blocks here. Take your right toes off the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, start moving forward. Take those blocks wherever it helps you. It's kind of like a half split. All right, so we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ease forward. Just get a nice stretch behind the leg here. Again, if you're using those blocks, you've got lots of options here on the height. You're gonna start to walk them back. Bring this right foot back and come onto the right knee. Now keep your knees the same distance apart as the hips. We're gonna do a little, just like a little camel here. We're not gonna go fully into it. So bring your fist to the right below the lower back and the back of the pelvis. Pull your elbows toward each other and press the hips forward and take your gaze up. Now make your way back up. Bring your left foot forward, lunging now on the left, working on the right hip. So try to move beyond that right hip. Find your balance here. And then we want to make sure that we have our block probably tall. Take your left hand to the block outside the left hip. Right arm is still up. Inhale, reach the fingertips a little higher. Exhale, bring it up into the left. And back up. Now taking both blocks on the outside of the hips, lifting the left toe up. Before you go forward, we want to inhale, lengthen the back, exhale, ease forward, but keep yourself supported on those blocks or on the floor so you feel balanced. You're not going to lose your balance here. And ease out of that. Same thing, we're going to come to that camel pose again. Just again, you can tuck the toes under if you like or not, but just take the fist back here so we're only bringing the elbows toward each other, lifting the heart. We're not going to take the hands lower. And as we ease out of that, take the knees wider apart. Come into your child's pose for the last time. We are a couple minutes behind. Still need to do some of our regulars that we do on our back. So if you can stay a little bit longer, you're going to probably enjoy that. But if you need to go because of time, again, you might want to start a Savasana because it is about 5 till the end of the hour. Sometimes I just lose track of time. So we're going to slowly make our way around onto our backs. Roll down, come to your side, whatever you need to do. Start out by bringing your knees into the chest and roll the back a little bit. And then let's take the feet up. Let's work them together. But we're going to point one and flex the other. So they're doing the same movement, just at opposite time. And then circling the same way. Reverse it. Now have them work opposite. All right, bring those knees down. Feet down, knees bent. Come to that bent knee position. The arms alongside you. Take a breath or two here. Check in with your breathing again. See how that's feeling. All right. Next, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest. Now we're going to keep this right knee in. Feel that back pressing into the mat. Stretch your left leg all the way out. Keeping the left hand across that lower right leg. Open the right arm. Take a breath in. As you exhale, use this hand to pull up and across. And really focusing on keeping that right arm, or at least the right shoulder, right? That's the hard part. That's what wants to come up. Keep that on the mat. Again, if you don't want to turn your head, if this is too much on the neck, just keep your eyes up. All right, onto the back. This time the right foot goes to the left knee, coming into our thread the needle option with the left foot on the floor or off the floor. All right, as we uncross, we're going to hug those knees into the chest. Bring the feet to the mat. Bring the arms to the mat. Inhale, exhale here. Next inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale now, left knee in. Pull that leg close in. And then we're stretching the right leg all the way out. All right, keeping our right hand across that lower left leg. Open your left arm away from you. Inhale first. On the exhale, we're going to twist. Pull that knee across. Keep that left shoulder down. All right, as you come onto your back, same thing for this one. We'll take that left foot to the right knee and get an option to bring that foot up. I'm so happy I can finally do this one again. Took a long time. All right. And then after that, we're going to hug those knees in one last time. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and bring both legs all the way down. However you like. Now you might prefer a different position for Savasana. Legs up the wall. Maybe you want to lay lay on a pillow or something sideways with like whatever you need to do. We just want the body to feel open and relaxed. We want to really focus in on the breathing again. Make sure whenever you've worked on today, we want to let go of that now. We want to let the body get into a very calm state, very relaxed state. And so take a deep breath in, slow exhale. And just maybe start at one end of the body, top or bottom, and then just take some time to scan through. Don't be ultra focused on it. Kind of let it happen. Just making sure that each part feels relaxed on its own, but also we're connected to the whole body. The whole body's feeling relaxed. So that breath is just helping us to get there and stay there. enjoying your Savasana, feel free to stay there. Again, we did run a little bit late, sorry about that. If you're ready to start coming back up, you want to move slowly. With the fingers and the toes a little bit. And then just make those movements a little bigger when you're ready. Coming back up slowly, using your hands to help you get there. Again, we're not trying to force anything or rush anything. Bring our hands to our heart. Namaste. I'm going to come back to the screen, everybody. Sorry about that. Let me turn off my camera here.